Imagine this, the place you call safe. The walls that protect you. Your home. But what if, within those very walls, something else was hidden? Something waiting? Tonight, we delve into 3 real-life nightmares. True accounts from ordinary people who stumbled upon terrifying secrets in the most unsuspecting of places. Their own homes. These aren't just urban legends. These are real hidden room horror stories that will make you question every creak, every shadow, and every sealed-off space in your own house. Prepare yourself, because sometimes the scariest secrets are literally behind the walls. Story 1. The bookshelf portal. Our first tale comes from the suburbs of Ohio, where a young couple, Sarah and Mark, moved into what seemed like their dream home, an old, charming house with character. They loved its quirks, especially the large, built-in bookshelf in the living room. It was only after a few weeks, while trying to hang a picture, that Mark noticed something peculiar. The bookshelf wasn't flush with the wall. He pushed on it gently, and to his astonishment, the entire section gave way, swinging inward with a soft groan. It revealed not another wall, but a narrow, dark opening. A passage. What lay beyond that secret door would unravel a history far darker than any ghost story. Dust motes danced in the beam of Mark's phone light as they cautiously stepped through. The air was stale, cold, and carried a faint, metallic scent. This wasn't just a closet. It was a small, crudely built room, completely bare except for one item. A child's rocking horse, tucked into a corner, rocking almost imperceptibly as if it had just been used. Sarah gasped. Who would hide this? As they explored further, they found faded, childlike drawings plastered to the walls, drawings of people with strangely elongated limbs and vacant eyes. One drawing, more disturbing than the rest, showed a figure peeking out from behind a bookshelf. Their bookshelf. But the true horror wasn't in what they found, but in what remained. Days later, strange things began. Footsteps above them when no one was upstairs. Whispers from the empty living room. Items moved. Sarah felt a cold, small hand brush her ankle one night. They boarded up the hidden room, but it was too late. Whatever had been left behind in that secret space, it now knew they were there. It was no longer confined to the hidden room. Story 2. The basement tunnel. Our next story takes us to an isolated farmhouse in rural Pennsylvania, owned by an elderly man named George. He'd lived there his whole life, the house a sturdy relic from the early 1900s. One day, while fixing a leaky pipe in his cluttered, dirt-floor basement, he noticed a section of the wall that looked different. Newer concrete not matching the rough stone around it. Curiosity piqued. George began to chip away at the patch. It wasn't long before the concrete gave way, revealing a gaping, dark hole. It wasn't a hole in the wall. It was a tunnel through the earth. Armed with a lantern, George crawled into the narrow, claustrophobic passage. The air grew heavy, damp, and smelled strongly of something rotten. The tunnel extended for what felt like miles, curving and descending deeper into the earth beneath his property. He found crude markings on the walls, symbols he didn't recognize, etched into the mud. Then the tunnel widened into a small, naturally formed cavern. His lantern revealed a shocking sight, a makeshift altar made of stacked rocks, covered in strange, dried substances. And at its center, a collection of old, yellowed photographs. Photographs of faces. Faces of people from his town. People who had disappeared decades ago. The tunnel wasn't just a hidden passage. It was a dark monument to a forgotten terror, leading directly beneath his home. George quickly retreated, horrified. He sealed the tunnel with solid concrete, telling no one. But he couldn't unsee the faces, nor forget the chilling realization. Someone, long ago, had been using his land, his basement, for unspeakable rituals. And the tunnel, now sealed, remained a dark, pulsing secret beneath his feet, a constant reminder of the depravity it once held. Story 3. The attic's walled-off watcher. Our final account unfolds in an old Victorian house in New England, bought by a young family, David and Emily, eager for a fixer-upper project. The house was enormous, with a vast, dusty attic they planned to convert. As they cleaned, Emily noticed a section of the attic wall that looked out of place, a rough patch of plaster over old brick, unlike the rest of the finished wood. David, intrigued, hammered at it. With a hollow thud, a large chunk of plaster fell away, revealing not brick, but a dark void beyond. This wasn't just a wall. It was a deliberate, chilling concealment. They pulled away more plaster, eventually revealing a completely walled-off section of the attic. It was a tiny, windowless room, utterly dark. When David shone his flashlight inside, Emily let out a shriek. The room wasn't empty. It contained a single, small wooden chair, meticulously placed facing the only wall that abutted the main attic space. On the seat of the chair, a single, antique, porcelain doll sat upright, its painted eyes fixed directly on the hidden opening they had just created. It was as if someone or something had been sitting there, watching them through the wall for decades. The most terrifying discovery was not the doll, but the unsettling implication of its purpose. They quickly removed the doll and sealed the room again, but the image haunted them. They couldn't shake the feeling that the doll, or whatever it represented, had been a silent observer, a watcher. And even after the wall was repaired, they sometimes felt a cold spot in the main attic, directly where the doll had been watching. They knew that within their home, an unseen gaze had once patiently waited, and perhaps still did. These stories prove that sometimes the greatest horrors aren't found in haunted mansions or deep forests, but within the very walls of our everyday homes. Sleep tight,